Hey YouTube. Today my project out here on the property is to build me a shooting bench, and it's going to be a shooting bench. The top of the shooting bench, I'm going to make it out of concrete. I want it to be able to last for years and years to come and be able to sit out there in the weather and withstand it. So I'm planning on making it out of concrete. The other reason is I want this bench not to be able to wiggle or move when I'm done. So it's going to be a very sturdy bench when I'm done. I've gathered together everything I think that I need for this project. I hope I got everything. We'll find out as the project proceeds. I've got concrete to pour inside of our form. I've got plastic. This is a plastic trash bag, contractor trash bag, or you can use plastic sheeting. I'm going to lay that in the bottom so that the concrete has a more smooth appearance. That way, maybe I'm hoping the top doesn't have any rough edges, so less chance of scratching anything up. I've got myself a cordless drill and screws to assemble the forms. I got me a level just to make sure that what I'm pouring the concrete on, which is this board over here, is level. I've got 2x4s to assemble the form out of, and that's going to make the table top 3.5 inches thick of concrete. I've got some old wire and some old hog panel laying here and some bolt cutters. I plan on cutting this up to fit inside of our form, and it'll be basically the rebar, the reinforcement inside the concrete. I got me a couple sawhorses. I hope that's enough. I hope it withstands the weight. And I just got me some generic piece of plywood to pour the slab on top of. I also got a circular saw to cut up the 2x4s. So let's go ahead and let's get started, and we'll find out whether I'm actually missing anything or not. Okay, I got the basic shape to the bench now. What I got is I got the 36-inch wide piece here, and I got the two 24s screwed onto its side, so the inside dimension's 36. What I did up here is I took, basically, I think these are 23 or 24-inch pieces that I've 45'd on one side. And down here at the end I've got the 20-inch board, and it is got a 14-inch board screwed on each side, so the width of the back is 20. So here in the back I just got a piece of scrap board laid out here, and I've got it so that these two 14-inch pieces are laying on top. I'm just gonna basically lay this out to where this just fits perfectly over the top of that board, and I'm just gonna put a line on it. See if I can do this. And then that's where we're gonna cut our last 45. Okay, here it is after I've cut the marks that I made on the wood. It ended up about perfect. If you look at it, it ends up being basically right there. So now I got to screw those together to have the form made, and then what I plan on doing is I'm just going to kind of make sure everything's square on this piece of plywood, and I'm going to put a screw in each corner up through the plywood into the frame, and one in each side. So I'm going to put like 6 screws in it just to secure it all together and make it rigid. So let's go ahead and do that, and then after that we'll start putting the plastic sheeting inside of it. Well, before I put my plastic sheeting in here, I want to cut what I want to use for reinforcement first. I got this bent up piece of hog panel. I'd really like to use it. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off some of these pieces, because I think I can get rid of some of these bent pieces and actually be able to still use it. So okay, now what I flatten that out, I think good enough that it'll fit in the concrete, I hope. And then I've got another piece that was cut off of a hog panel. I just kind of bent it around to give some reinforcement here in the back side. Alright, I tried to get this to lay as flat as I could. Right here where it narrowed down, I did have to like staple down a flap there and roll it just to make it try to lay as flat as I can. I know this ain't gonna be perfect, but it will have maybe some lines in it. But overall, it'll be smooth, I hope. So let's go ahead and start mixing up some concrete. Okay, now that I've got that pretty well even, about halfway full, maybe a little more than halfway full, we're gonna go ahead and put our rebar pieces in. Or what, I have a hog panel here. Okay, right there, there's one. Now I know that's not deep enough to show through the other side, and it shouldn't be when I'm done. Should not be deep enough to show through the bottom. There we go. That one should be covered when we're done. Okay, now that the rebar's in there, or our reinforcement wire, go ahead and keep on mixing. So far I got 3 60-pound bags. It looks like I'm going to use probably another 3 to top this off. Now that we're completely finished, I'm gonna let this sit for a good day, maybe 2, before I try to take off the forms. I'd really like to wait maybe a good week and let it get good and hard before I even try to position it out in the where I'm going to put this, because I'm going to have to flip it over. I'm going to have to lift it with the tractor and set it. So I'd really like for it to harden over time. So I'd like to give it a few days to make sure that it ain't going to crack on me. So we'll just let this sit for a few days, come back, pop the forms of it off, and go put it in. See how she looks in a few days. Okay, now that I got the forms off, by myself I actually cannot move that or flip it. That thing is 300 pounds or more. Basically what I'm going to do from here is I'm going to pull the tractor in here with the pallet forks on it, and just try to lift this up and set it on the ground so I can get it flipped over. Now it was time to build the shooting bench. We relocated an old concrete pad to where we wanted to build the shooting bench. This gave us a good level surface to build on. Then we gathered up concrete blocks that had been left in various locations on the property. We stacked the blocks to be the legs of the shooting bench. We lifted the shooting bench top with the tractor and set it on top of the blocks. We used a couple more blocks to make a seat. This bench is solid as a rock and will last for years. Thanks for watching.